Hello, this is Wilford. Today I'm going to tell you how to run MestreNova. I want to show you the download folder, or my download folder, which contains a number of files. One of which is MestreNova's version 14. You see that this is an installation file, and this is an evaluation version of it, which lasts for about 40 days. Once you start installation, you'll be asked a number of questions and a form for you to fill up. And it will then send you an email in which there's a link which you can click on so that it will confirm that the email address that you entered was correct. And then you will need to do the second installation. This time you will install it with license, because the previous one you haven't got a license, now you got a license. Now these are the license file that is sent to you. It's a zip file, you don't have to unzip. What you need to do when you are asked to give the license, you simply drop this to the window. Now this is MestreNova. Double click on it, it will start running. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you something else. You see that inside my download folder, there's also another file, which is also a zip file that I downloaded from OneDrive. Now this is a zip file that can't be used, it has to be unzipped. To unzip it, you simply click on it first to highlight it, and then right click on it. You see that there's an option here for 7-zip. 7-zip is a software that is capable of zipping and unzipping, which can be downloaded from the internet. You simply search for it with 7-zip in Google, and you will find that it's possibly the first item. And the installation is simple, I don't have to tell you anything. Now, with this one here, they got a number of options that you can do. This is the option that I often do, extract files. You can also do this one here. You click on this, it will then extract the files in the same name. Now double click on this, then you see that this is another layer or folder here. Possibly I did it twice, and double click on it until you get these two folders. Now the first one being to FO1 Indolent, and the second one is TR something. Let's get to it. And these are the files folder that we are going to use to run MestreNova. You see that after MestreNova is running, the first thing is to ask you whether or not you want to run with modern user interface or alternatively a basic interface. I usually say no. And then you'll get this platform. And this is a graphic display window, and this is page display window. To upload a data file, you simply click on it and drag into it. You see that it's now uploaded. There's another way of uploading files in a group. You can simply highlight a number of them and drop it here. You can see that they are loaded up one by one. And the last one being 2D. And I want to start from 1D. Now there's a lot of things we can do. And there's a number of menus and buttons, plenty of buttons. I named this menu by number. So this is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, etc. In the third row, there are 4 menus separated by columns of dots. I named this menu 3.1, menu 3.2, and menu 3.3, 3.4, etc. And there are plenty of something else over there as well. Of course, you can find everything from menu, buttons, but it's very useful to remember some simple command by typing. For example, if you want to zoom in here, you can simply type Z for zooming. You see that there is then a cross cursor for us to drag around. You drag here, it will be expanded here, and then you want to get back, type another letter F for full, and then you get full. And you want to get rid of this cursor here, easy, escape to get rid of it. And you want to increase the intensity, click on it, and then roll it up by middle button. Now there's a lot of other things can do. For example, you can right click on it. You can see that there's a lot of options of it, among which is pick picking, for example. You can do automatic pick picking. You can do manual pick picking. Usually I use automatic unless I have trouble. So let us have a look at how the result would be. It takes a bit of time because you need to work out the impurity of the solvent. You need to work out how to display it once it works out. You see that it's displayed in this way. Again, you see that there are many of peaks. They're so crowded. You can't see it clearly. The way to see it clearer is to zoom in by simply tapping Z for course, and then zoom in this way. See that this time it's better, but there's still some problem here. For example, this is a solvent peak. Of course, it's indicated here, but you can also see it clearly by again zooming into it. You see that this time is nicely aligned. So this is one thing I want to tell you. Let's get back to full first, and then get rid of the cursor again. And I want to tell something about the 2D processing. You see that they are displayed in color. Now this is what we call contour display. You can change the display in different ways by, again, right-clicking on it. You'll find here there is something called 2D plotting method. Now you can change it to the bitmap plot. Some people like this, but I don't particularly like it. I like the contour plot. Let's resume it to contour plot. Resume the contour plot. Okay. Now that can be improved by right-clicking on it first, and then go to the property this time. You can see that there's a 2D option here. It's for 2D display. First, I want to change the color. How do I change the color? Clicking on here. I want to change it to red and blue. Means that I want the positive peak to be red, negative peak to be blue. I also need to change this accordingly. I want to change it to 22 levels. Currently, it was using 10 levels. It's not enough. That's why there's plenty of space here in the middle. So I change it to 22. You can change it to 33, 44. It's up to you. But you also need to change this parameters here, which is 2 at the moment. You need to change it to something smaller, 1.2 for example, which is the scale between 2 levels. So after changing it, you click OK. You can see the difference. You can zoom in to see some more detail. Z for zooming. Here we go. You zoom into it. You can increase the intensity as well or decrease it. Look at the full spectrum again. Let's zoom in a bit more. I'm interested in this peaks here. They appear to be weak. So I zoom in again to see what happened. Are they really real? They are. They are correlated to the peaks that we are familiar with. So for those who are familiar with Koji, you can quickly work out that this is possibly the 4-bond correlation between peaks. Right, so let's get back to the full first. Escape. I want to tell you something more about this area here. MestreNova called this trace. Booker called this projection. A projection is possibly a better word for it because it's really a projection of this peak onto this here. MestreNova automatically worked out which spectrum to put in once you load it. Now suppose you want to change it, then you can do it by dragging it into this 2D spectrum. You can change them both together, or you can change only one of them. Let's change only one of them at this moment. You can see that they get changed. Perhaps you don't see them clearly, but if I increase them again, you'll see that they get changed. See that? Right? Now, how do I increase it? Again, by right-clicking on it, you got a number of options here, which you can play with. Let's not worry about that at the moment. Let's click on here, scroll it up, and click on it, scroll it down. Okay, these are the things that I want to tell you for you to start using MestreNova. Enjoy processing.